I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. I love you. This is amazing. My little sister is going to the 8th grade. I'm happy. I'm happy. Hey, I remember holding you when you got out the hospital. You don't remember that? Michael Israel, Real TV here. We'll be starting the show. Holding you when you was about 4 years old. Then you turned 5. I remember when you lost your first tooth and they first carried me in, and I was like, wow. Oh my, little sister is growing up real fast. I can't believe she's in math class, in science class, and learning algebra. Oh my goodness, I remember the other night I tried to help you with your homework and I couldn't work with you. I couldn't even let you know that. I didn't know that problem. That was kind of hard. I remember when you wanted your first perm. Now you got your fro growing real nice and it look real good. Hey, I gotta school you though. If the boys trying to talk to you, the first thing they need to do is meet your bro. Cause I'ma talk to him. I'ma make sure they right. And don't ever mess with a young man if his mind not right, little sister. And my other sister with the kids, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I know I don't say it a lot, but I'm proud of you. Raising all the kids. Raising my nieces and nephews. I thank you, and I'm proud to see that the woman that you are. Yeah, this your brother freestyling. This your brother freestyling on the song right now. The whole album is called The Freestyle. So you can laugh, yeah, you can laugh, laugh. I'm just happy, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all my sisters, yeah. And I can't wait till the day you get married. I'ma be there. And I hope that your big brother catch the bouquet, yeah. I'm your host, Michael Israel. Thank you for tuning in to Real TV, sponsored by Speaker Radio. If you haven't subscribed, why not? Thank you again for tuning in. To all my regular listeners and to all my newcomers, welcome. Be sure to click the subscribe button if you haven't, just in case YouTube has unsubscribed you. And also be sure to hit the notification button so you can get the latest updates. This is pre-recorded November 16th, and today's show is going to be about food. This is food part 2. So, yeah, I'll title it Food Part 2. Make sure you stay bundled up tonight. We're looking at the low 50s, high 40s on the southern east coast of Georgia. So, we're not pretty much used to all this cold here. So, make sure you stay bundled up tonight. But, let's go ahead and get right into the show. Oh, by the way, thank y'all, too, for all the love on Food Part 1. Thank you. And to all my other listeners who listened in and watched the other videos, thank you. I truly appreciate it a lot. In fact, go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause. Again, so today's show is called Food Part 2. And kind of what I want to do on this show tonight is I want to give you a visionary tour of your local store, whatever it is. You may shop at Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Brighter Day, Kroger, Target, if you like Target. You might have a Piggly Wiggly in your area. I don't even think they have Piggly Wigglies like they used to. I think Piggly Wigglies were bought out by Bilo. You may be at, I want to say Wingmans, something like that. Not Portman's, not the music store. But I want you to just think in your mind of what's what in your store. Because for the most part, we know that before we even enter the store, we know through common sense that nothing, or at least very little, is grown locally in that grocery store. We know that for the most part. As soon as you're outside, the first thing you see is flowers. But what a deception is that these flowers are dead. As soon as you cut the flowers, they're dead. So they cut the dead flowers and they put it in a pot with soil and sell it to you. So when you buy, you're technically buying dead flowers. The same thing goes when you cut grass. As soon as you cut grass, that grass screams when it is cut. What I mean by that, Michael, what are you talking about? What I mean by that is when you cut grass, you smell grass. And when that grass is at its death, the cellular structure of that grass screams out to the other grasses, if you have to call it grasses or whatever. It screams out. That's where the smells come from. But this show is about food. But the first deception is that we buy flowers that we think are living, yet they're dead, and we have to preserve them. You understand? So I want to I can't necessarily go over every food product, but let's take an apple for example. We'll deal with the apple, right? So we know that when we go into the apple aisle, that we see an apple, and they're shiny red apples, shiny green, or whatever color they may be. They're very shiny, but we know that in nature, the apples are not grown on the tree shiny. They're not shiny on the tree. They don't fall from the tree shiny. So that lets us know that something is already up. Of course, we already know that they use a lot of wax on our food to preserve it, whether it's apples, cucumbers, even oranges and bananas, to say the least. But when you look at any product, or I don't even want to say product really, when you look at any food source that has to deal with vegetables and fruits, anything that has a food label tag on it that starts with the 3, that already lets you know that it's genetically modified. It's like a 3, 4, 9, whatever, 1 for an example. I don't know, whatever. Or 3, blase. It'll be like 4 numbers. If it starts with a 3, you know off top that it's genetically modified. Now, I know a lot of you listeners, a lot of my people, I know a lot of y'all know this information right now, but it's always good to have a refresh, right? So anything that starts with a 3 is genetically modified. Now, an organic vegetable or fruit starts with the number 9. We know that organic fruits and vegetables have seeds in them. The question is, where are all the seeds going? You can't buy table grapes, or you can't even buy organic grapes for the most part unless you at a really, really good grocery store that has the grapes. See, they take the seeds out the grapes and they give you grapeseed oil. They got seedless watermelon now. The bananas that are in the store that we see today are not even real. The original banana is tiny. It's tiny like a pinky finger, and it had seeds in it. Maybe I'm going too far. Right? All right. So I know I said I was going to talk about an apple. So let me just bring it down to basic terms. Right? We know that organic fruits and vegetables have seeds. Now, the difference between a regular apple and a genetically modified apple is that a regular organic apple has a stem on it. It's like your belly button. That same tag has a place of origin. You know whether that apple is from New York, Georgia, Vermont, wherever it is. You know exactly where it's from, and it has a stem. Now, the thing that I find that is odd, like when you think about it, like in just layman terms, is how can I say? I lost my sense of thought. But like these tags that are put on our food, food has energy the same way words have energy. Like when you have tags on your food that say certain things, it can manipulate the structure of the food. We'll deal with that in just a moment. But to stay on subject, the most of the food that we see in the stores today are shipped. They're shipped. There's a small, itty bitty, tiny, organic sliver of a section that says organic food. But we know that amount of food in that section can't feed an entire community. So if that's the real food, the organic food, then what else are we eating? And then here's the dilemma. The dilemma is this. They take the food that is originally from the land, which is organic now. We have to call it organic because it's genetically modified food now also. But the regular food on the land is considered organic. So they take our regular food and then they create a different type of food by mixing it with A, B, C, and D, and they call it GMO. So now they give us options. They give us the options, well, you can have your original food, but it's going to cost you a little bit more money. Or you can have this alteration that, we provided here. It's all a money game. It's like a zoo. It's like they take your food and they make you pay for it. But this grows in nature. This is our food from nature, yet we have to pay for it. The thing about it is, when our food, a lot of our food from the area of the stores in our areas are not from our areas, right? So a lot of our food is shipped. It's manufactured and it's shipped. So what that means is when you take this apple, for example, or you take that fruit tree, for an example, that is at a certain spot on a specific piece of land that grew from a seed into a tree. That fruit tree is under the stars. The stars are, how can I say? The earth has a magnetic grid. The earth basically has a magnetic grid. And that food that we eat from a tree, whether it's an apple, whether it's cherries, it has information. And that information in that fruit is considered DNA. Fruit also has a DNA. And that DNA is made by photosynthesis from the sun. And that information relays information to our body. So food is technically information that goes into our body that we need to process. So if they modify the original food, then what information are we getting to our body? You understand? So, by the way, as a side note, Because I always wondered about this when I was younger, and now that I'm older, I understand that Adam didn't eat an apple. The scripture doesn't say that he ate an apple. It doesn't say he had figs. It doesn't say he could have had a miracle berry for all we know. He could have had any fruit, but it didn't tell us what fruit. So I have no idea where the term Adam's apple come from. It could have been a peach. It could have been a olive. And yes, olives are considered fruit. Olives, by the way, when you get extra virgin olive oil, when an olive is pressed, it's considered fruit juice. It's literally considered as a fruit juice. So, and I know I'm going a little off topic here, but this is about food, so we're going to talk about a lot. So, olives are considered a fruit juice. I used to manage an olive store, and I learned so much. And this particular brand, they actually got their olives imported from Modena, Italy, one of the best producers of olives in the world. I mean, you could produce olives anywhere, for the most part. Olive trees can grow in any type of environment, desert, wetlands, whatever. I mean, and a lot of olives come from Israel, Greece. You know, Greece is not the only place that has olives. You know, you got California, you got places in Georgia, Texas. There's a lot of places, Italy, Sicily. Anyways, this brand, they imported olives from Modena, Italy. And what it was, they worked with this company who has had this, you know, is passed on through family, right? Family business. And the most unique thing was that when they got these olives, they'll take this machine that actually shakes the tree, and the olives will shake into this trunk or whatever. And within 90 minutes, from the time it drops from the tree to the truck, it's in the factory and it's pressed as a fruit juice. Olive is considered a fruit. It really is. It's a fruit. It's just savory. It's very savory, but it is a fruit. So I'm gonna school you a little bit on olives real quick. So anyways, they infuse it with different flavors. You got regular, extra virgin, pressed olive oil, and then they infuse it with different flavors. Like they'll take that batch of extra virgin olive oil, and if you want peach, then they'll take some fresh peaches, and they'll throw it in there. They'll take fresh lemons, and oh my goodness, anything, you know, from chili peppers to oh goodness, to so much, to anything, right? So the thing with olives is this: olives is very tricky because there's a black market on olives. So what it is that there's no regulations for olive oil. To know what you're getting as an olive oil, your olive oil should be in a dark container. If it's in an amber glass, yeah, maybe. If it's in a clear bottle, no, stay away from it. Olive oil has to be preserved and it has to be fresh. A juice has to be fresh and it has to be bottled tight, protected from light. Now, when you get olives, you want to know the chemistry breakdown of the olives. You should know the acidity. You should know where it's from. You should know the landowners. Like, seriously, the breakdown, the amount of fats, everything. There's a whole list, but they don't put down the bottles. So what is the black market? The black market is this. Since there's no regulations for olive oil, anything that is in a bottle that has at least 1% of extra virgin olive oil is considered extra virgin olive oil. Can you believe that? If it has a minimum, let me repeat, I'm going to say it, excuse me. If it has a minimum, well, let me drink some of this tea real quick. Some good tea. It's just classic black tea with some mint black tea. You know, you gotta get them herbs in you during this time of the season. A lot of spicy food. You notice a lot of Mexican people. No offense to my Mexicans or Puerto Ricans, but I don't see a lot of them getting sick. They eat a lot of spicy food, right? gotta add a little spice to your life. So it's good to eat some spicy foods here and there during this time in the season, and get some tea in your system, drink a lot of water, get sunlight so you don't get sick. And let me get back on the subject. You know how I get. This is real TV. So about this olives. I was saying the percentage, right? Okay, so if it has at least, I say it one more time, if it has at least 1% of extra virgin olive oil, is considered extra virgin olive oil if it's in a bottle. Meaning they can mix that 1% of extra virgin olive oil with anything else. It could be 1% of EVOO with canola oil, 1% of EVOO with sunflower oil or peanut oil. So that's the great secret. They're making a killing on this. How can you tell the difference between that you got a good olive oil? Besides the chemistry breakdown, when you taste real olive oil, I challenge you. If you got some in your house, smell it. Take the top off and smell it. If you got to turn your head when you smell it, you don't got the real deal. You don't have the real deal. And I'm going to put you on game. So check. To know you got real good olive oil, you would smell the true essence of the olive oil. And it doesn't smell like a chemical. The ones that's in the store, I can't even name all the brands, like Baraggio or whatever. In the store brands, it is not the real deal. It has a smell of freshness, like the smell of fresh cut grass. Not all of them, but some. Some have a fruitiness aroma. Some have a peppery smell. And then you can actually taste it and enjoy it. Not to like drink, but like you can get like a half a teaspoon and you slurp it. Like just to get the essence on your tongue. But oh man. I love olives, by the way, so that's why. And but yeah, let me get back on subject. I hope that helped you out a little bit about what olive oils to get, and that hopefully you'll find a real deal. But if you got any more questions of that, you can always email me and I can put you on with the ones that I get or whatever. But anyways, so basically, when we go to these stores, they basically take your food and make you pay for it. Our food is naturally grown in the environments. We should be able to pluck whatever it is from a tree or a bush and eat it. But yet they take it and pluck it, package it, and put it in the store where we have to buy it. So we basically got to work for our food in the system. We have to work for food just to get it, just to make it yours. But it's yours. It's yours already. How do we have to work for something? I understand that we still have to work. You understand? I know that a lion has to work to catch that zebra. You understand? But I don't know. It just, like, when you think about it, it's like a zoo. It's like a zoo. We eat the food. In nature, we eat the food, and our food goes back to the soil, and the soil regenerates or replenishes itself to make more food for us, right? Now, I'm not promoting veganism. I'm gonna talk about that a little later. I was a vegetarian for 7 years, and I was it for one reason. Well, two. No, I'll say 3. For one, I was inspired to be a vegetarian because people kept talking about how they felt, how it made them feel when they woke up in the morning, how they could sleep better. They have a good energy. It made them feel great. It was like a detox. And, it kind of was like a humanitarian thing to do. The second thing, I assumed that maybe I would get a little stronger by being a vegetarian. Because when you think about nature itself, the 3 strongest animals in the world are all based on a vegetarian diet. The rhinoceros, the elephant, and the gorilla. The rhinoceros, the elephant, and the gorilla are three of the strongest animals in the world, and they all have a vegetarian diet. So I was like, man, you know what? Maybe I should try it. And I was on it for a while, you know. My dad, come to find out, he was a vegetarian. I think he started to be one. He was like 17. So maybe it's genetic. I don't know. My mom eat meat, but my dad, he's not a vegetarian anymore. But he used to be. So those are my reasons why. But I'm gonna deal with that a little bit later. So I'm not promoting being a vegetarian, and I'm not promoting veganism. I'm not saying anything is wrong with it entirely, but I'll deal with that in the later part of the show. So, basically everything in nature eats for free but you. Everything in nature eats for free but us. The bees eat for free. They get their honey. Ants eat for free. Birds eat for free. Everybody in nature, everything in nature eats for free but us. Sooner or later, they're going to have us paying for air around here. They're going to have us paying for, we already paying for water, right? We already paying for water. But the thing is, the banks own this. The banks own these stores, these conglomerates. They own it, and it's a money game. It's a system. And this system takes over our farms. They have certain regulations and rules that it is what it is. But they're taking over. And they're playing with our DNA. You are DNA. We are DNA. Everything we eat is DNA. Our food is DNA. Excuse me. Everything that we eat tells our cells what to do. Your food, your water, it allows you to exist. It allows us to exist. And without it, we cannot exist. So what better plan, what better scheme than to control one's food and one's source of drink in order that they may eat and survive, right? Satan wants to be just like the Most High. The Most High creates regular food for us to eat. Animals and things that we can eat, right? Just regular food, but yet instead of just plucking it from a tree or bush, that we can have it regularly, even if we got to pay for it. Just think about it in common sense. But they take it and then they put all this extra stuff on it. And then they try to fine you if you try to grow your own tomato garden. You got to have a license now in certain states and cities to even grow your own vegetables. Can you believe that? You can't even grow your own onions. You can't grow eggplant. We're fortunate enough to grow a couple of herbs in our window pane. Some rosemary, some thyme, some sage, stuff like that. But to grow a peach tree, to grow kiwi or whatever it is, you got to have some regulations. They want in on that land. They want to test the soil, a certain soil you got to use and all that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Satan wants to be just like the Most High. Most High creates regular food for us to eat, and Satan is like, nah. You know what? I want to be just like the Most High. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this regular food and I'm going to twist it. In fact, I hate regular food. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this seed and that seed and I'm going to mix them. You know what? In fact, I'm going to take this seed, I'm going to break it up in a science lab, and I'm going to create something entirely different. I'm going to mix, you know what I mean? That's Satan's whole mindset, is just destroying this world that we live in. GMO food equals a GMO mind. Now, I'm going to probably do a show on this tomorrow. I want to make this show a little short, but I got a story about a blind man that I met today. And he had a heck of a story. And I bring him up to say this. If you have a blind man that goes to the store, right, and he's shopping for himself, how can he tell what is organic from what is not? So I say that to say that even though the situation is the way it is, as long as we pray over our food, everything should be all right. So what I mean is that if you don't have the money to go out and get organic, or if all you can afford is processed, then it kind of is what it is. And you know, we fall victim to it. We're just human beings. There's cookies we like, there's cakes and ice creams and yogurts and puddings and all type of stuff, from chips to popcorn to oatmeal, whatever. It's all type of stuff they putting in stuff. And all I'm saying is that I'm not trying to shame you if you can't afford, but if you can make way to get a little bit, it's good to at least try to get a little bit. But if you can't, that's fine. Don't worry. So I'm going to give you motivation of the blind man. A blind man can't shop for himself to determine what is organic and what is not. He has to depend on and trust on that employee or his family member or friend who is ever with him or she to guide them on what is what. So we can't fault that person that is in that situation, whoever they may be, blind or regular woman or man, to, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to throw that in there. But I also have to let you know that this is a genetic war. This is a genetic war. Everything that is in the middle of the aisles that we all know for the most part is not real food. It's all processed. Everything in the middle aisle is processed for the most part. They may have a couple of end caps with some regular products, but they still mixing and matching this and that. Everything on the outside aisles is the real food. That's your fruits, your vegetables, you know what I mean? On the outside, your eggs, for the most part, is the real food. So, everything is an exchange of energy. Everything. Everything is an exchange of energy. Our food to our body is an exchange of energy. Everything is an exchange of energy. You keep cutting your hair, they keep modifying our food, you know what I mean? You can't feel who you really are as a person in this world or what is happening in this world around you. I'm not saying that you can't necessarily understand the word. You understand what I'm saying? But you get a more sense of yourself. You have to actually experience it to know what I'm talking about. Everything is energy. The people you talk to, the food you eat, whether you having sex, whether you going to the beach to feel the sunlight, everything is energy. That's why when we go into the store, there's or we out on the street, there's artificial light. You have artificial light versus the regular light. We're so much indoors nowadays that we're not getting the proper energy that we need. We need to be outside more. We need to be, you know what I mean? We need to get the proper energy. We are electrical beings. That's why we're 75% made of water. Because water conducts what? Electricity. We are electrical beings. We're meant to be outside to feel the sun. We're not meant to have sunscreen on our skin. We're supposed to be one with the sun. I'm not promoting some sun worship now. I'm not on some Apollo Helios type of stuff now. You know me. It's real TV. I gotta keep it real. All right, you know. But I'm saying that you know what I'm saying. But like I said earlier, about the tags on the food, these little stickers that they putting on stuff, the tags can change the DNA. Food, words can change food. There's a reason why when your food drop on the ground, you be like, oh, Most High bless your germs. God bless your germs. You blow it off, maybe kiss it, and you blow it up, blow it off, and then you eat it. There's a reason why you pray over your food first. There's a reason. I've done many shows where I talked about how these universities have conducted many tests. These scientists have conducted many tests about the words over food, about saying good things to food and saying negative things to food. And at the end of the test, it comes out completely different results. How there's the molecules of that water or of that certain droplet of the juice from that food or meat, whatever it is, it looks like a crystal under a microscope. When you say positive things to it, versus the negative, and you look through it through a microscopic point of view, it looks like a blob of oil, like someone just dropped a blob of paint on the ground. It's so mesmerizing to see once you watch the study. So what I'm saying is that these little stickers that they put on the food, they even change the structure of the DNA of the food that we get. Those names that they're putting on it. That's why we got to keep the Most High first. And we got to pray. We got to keep it prayed up. But it's good for us as people to eat what is from nature, in nature. Wouldn't that be nice to just, you know what I mean, live closer to the tropics? And, I mean, some people may like the cold, but, I mean, just a lot of people I know like 70-degree weather too. 80-degree weather, 75. It's about a normal, about average. I don't know too many people that likes below zero or, 30-degree weather year round. It'd be nice to have like 75-degree weather year round, where you're closer to the tropics. We as melanated people in general, this show is for everybody, but as melanated people, it's good for us to be closer to the equator. It's better food for us. Now, how can I say this? Even though there's good food by the tropics and the islands and places like that, it's the government that makes it like hell. You can live in an area where there's a lot of melanated people, and that could be a good thing for us melanated people. But we are supermen, and they know that we are supermen. I know I'm getting off topic real quick, but I gotta talk about this. It's good for melanated people to be around more melanated people, but they know that we are supermen. It's almost like they're scared of us, and we got to be careful because they know that we're supermen. We run faster. When we jump in the air, we stay in the air. They know our truth, and they know who we are, and it's like they're inadequate. Now, when I say, I mean, it's like that's why they have guns and batons, and it's not like they're scared because they have the guns and batons. I mean, they don't have to be scared. Not in that moment. They could be scared of the most humblest and most, fragile person that is melanated. They don't have to be scared with the gun. They're scared of they're scared of the energy. When I say they, I mean I'm not saying the Caucasian, I'm just saying these these aliens, these demonic people that are in human skin, that are just have the whole world discombobulated. They have the whole world confused. I know I'm going off on another subject. But let me stay on topic. This is like a prison. When we go to these stores, these stores are like a prison. And like a prison is not noticed by a dog. What do I mean by that? A dog has been these pets have been taken from nature. They have been crossbred. They're not even the original dog anymore. They have been breeded out so much that they have so many issues. Like the pug, for example, which is one of my favorite dogs. I don't have any pets, but if I ever had one, I would probably get a pug. I think it's an ugly, cute dog. But the pug has been genetically modified with maybe a chihuahua and who knows what, maybe a chihuahua and like a bulldog or something like that. And they have breathing issues. There's a lot of other dogs that have issues like I want to say like the Great Dane, have knee issues. They're so, a lot of the dogs are Anglo-Saxon, German Shepherds, and I'm going off. I know, but what was I saying? Okay, so like dogs, how can I better say it? All right, like dogs don't understand that they're in a prison. Dogs have been taken from nature, and they have been placed on leashes. Even though they have a nice home, they eat hard food for all their lives. For the most part, right? Some owners give them what they eat. They eat steaks. Some owners even cook them. They even buy good steak and actually cook it with rice and stuff and give it to their dogs. But for the most part, these dogs are on a leash. They got a nice home. They got a nice bed. But they're in a prison. They don't know what it's like to be out in nature for the most part. I'm not talking about a dingo. But for the most part, they don't know that they're in a prison. It's like today I was in the store and I seen this dog licking the stroller like no other. I was like, man, what is going on? Dog was like at the bottom of the stroller and just tearing up the stroller. I mean, not with the claws, but just like licking the stroller, like, and so happy, like ready to hop out. Like if you were to wave your hand to this dog ready to hop out that thing and lick you up. And the dog was just licking the Velcro of the stroller like somebody smeared some bacon juice on that thing or something. I'm like, what is going on? But the dog was in this stroller as if it was his home. You got people putting these dogs in clothing, putting these dogs in strollers, and they have no idea that they're in prison. They're being clothed, they're being carried, they're being cared for. They're being cared for so well that they have no idea that they're caught up in the matrix. So that's my symbolism. These grocery stores are like prisons. And the food is like a mess hall. The food is like a mess hall, and we have to open our eyes to this truth. Our food is free. When you take water, when you take the regular water, what is regular water in the store? It's like filtered water for the most part. It got filtered, so many varieties, filtered, distilled. I mean, what's the real water? Our real water comes from the natural springs. That's the real water we should be drinking. But there's a scripture that says that we should drink poison and live. We'll deal with that in just a second. But, I mean, who knows, man? One day, man, they already got us paying for water. They may have us paying for air for real. I know out in China, they have, like, I want to say, like, some type of backpacks or something like that. Because the air is so thick of pollution from the coal and the factories over there. The air is thick. It looks like fog out. I'm sure if you look up some pictures right now of Beijing, or Hong Kong, I mean, the air is thick. It looks like fog, man. And they selling like these air backpacks that provides clean air that for you to breathe. It's crazy. They're literally selling air. This world's crazy, man. It's crazy. That little sliver of organic space that is in a store is not enough to feed everybody that needs food. And what's natural flavors? What is natural flavors? Somebody talk to me, man. Talk to me. Let me understand. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to be back in just a moment. Real TV. Yeah. You know, maybe one day you'll awake. Or maybe you're already awoken. But don't run away from the truth. We need the truth. Don't run away from the truth. Yeah. Hang in there. Run the race all the way to the end. Run the race all the way to the end. Spending money not the only thing we need to do. Giving money to the poor is what we need to do. A lot of lies in this world, but we need the truth. I know you run away, but we need the truth. I know you want to run away, but we need the truth. It's like we living in the cage, living in the zoo. Why you want to run away when we need the truth? Why you want to run away when we need the truth? You need this truth. You got to get this truth. Whether you want it or not. We're in the age of Aquarius, the age of information. Aquarius is an air sign. Air travels. Our voice projects in the air. Satellites signal in the air. Vibrations travel throughout the air. This is the air. This is the, not air, but this is the age of communication. This is the age of information. That's why everybody is giving out all types of information. There's all type of allegations coming out now. Harvey Weinstein and what's the guy name? Oh goodness, there's so many. Mariah Carey and David Blaine and man, goodness, there's all type of stuff coming out from the truth about what's going on. Pizzagate, there's pedophilia in Hollywood. From Nick Cannon telling y'all not to send y'all kids to Hollywood, to Corey Feldman, to man, people trying to take a knee, trying to take a stand. It's just so much going on right now. It's like everything is just like spilling out here from there, here, there, and here. You know what I mean? But this is called Food Part 2. This is Food Part 2. I challenge you to look at any of the products in the store. Or just go in your pantry right now. Go in your pantry. Or if you're from London, you have to go in your cupboard. You have to go to your cupboard and get the chips and get the dip. My accent's not good on that. But you know what I mean. And just research something. Research one of those words. Look up one of them. You know, in spaghetti sauce, not all of it, like Prego, for example. Prego sauce, or you could pick any other one, what it means. And a lot of them, it'll say, like, you get the one with the meat in it, right? It'll say something like mechanically separated meat. And then that cheap spaghetti sauce that has that cheap meat in there, that it says on the back, it says mechanically separated meat. What meat did they put in there? Most likely it's probably from a sick cow, or a cow that was wounded, or a cow that got treated bad. Hence the documentary about cow conspiracy. There's so many of them. Goodness, right? But there's paragraphs. There's paragraphs of information in these products. It's products that they're putting on our food. We know that cornstarch is not good. We know that they add in fructose and anything that has glucose, fructose, sucralose is considered a sugar. Whether it's a binary sugar or it has more than one polystructure, you know what I mean? It's not good. To soybean oil, don't mess with soy. If you like soy, I recommend that you find something else. If you like soy. Put a disclaimer on that, but I mean, me personally, I don't eat soy. Soy is genetically modified. It's a genetically modified bean. It was made by the government itself. I want to say the army or something. It was made for something else, and it ended up being something else, and now we eat it as food. I don't eat tofu. I don't recommend tofu. I don't recommend soy milk. I don't recommend soy. But they put it in everything. You look on chips. You look on flour, cookies, cake. There's a lot of soybean oil, that. And what it is messing up the genetics. It's messing up our DNA. That's what it's doing. It's promoting too much. It's producing too much estrogen in women. And it's it's producing estrogen in men. Men are supposed to have testosterone. Women are supposed to have estrogen. You know what I mean? And it's causing an imbalance. It's just like what is that? Not coconut oil, but canola oil. Canola oil. Did you know that it was originally made for condoms? It was originally made as a lube. It was tested in the lab to be a lubricant. Canola oil. This is. I'm telling you, do the research. If you don't believe me, do the research. Canola oil was originally made as a lubricant, made as a lube. Now, it's in the stores to cook with. A lot of y'all gonna be frying turkeys coming up on this paganistic, ritualistic American holiday, frying turkeys in that coconut oil. You know what I'm talking about. And you know good and well that Thanksgiving is not a good holiday. It's not even a holy day we should be celebrating anyways. But I'm not going to get into that right now. So you may ask, why do they have all these products in the store then? Like, why don't they just get rid of them? Because it's all about supply and demand. It's about supply and demand. Ain't nobody tripping about it. Ain't nobody protesting about it. And for the most part, everybody want to buy it. So it's about supply and demand. A lot of people are demanding these products, so they keep supplying it. That's just how it is. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. It's like that. So we could go slightly on the topic about clones. If we are what we eat, and if our food is fake or if it's genetically modified, and if we are what we eat, would that make us, I wouldn't say a clone, but why even make one when if you could give fake food to a real person, that'll just make them docile, make them more docile because they're not getting what their body needs. They're not getting the true, you understand what I'm saying? They're playing with your biology. They're playing with your DNA. They're playing with your DNA. Go get a bottle of syrup right now at your cabinet. Go take a bottle of syrup. You got some syrup. Whether it's store-bought, whether it's Aunt Jemima, Mrs. Butterworth. You go look at some Mrs. Butterworth and see what's in it. You know Miss Butterworth has aspartame in it. Aspartame causes cancer. It causes dementia over time, memory loss. Aspartame is that same thing that's in your diet products. It's in your chewing gum. It's in a lot of protein mixes. It causes memory loss. It causes cancer. It's not good. Look up and see what it is. They literally put bull sperm in Red Bull and people drink it. Taurine. Go look up taurine. And then look at a Red Bull can. Taurine is bull sperm, and it tells you right down the can. It'll say like 0 point something grams, whatever it is, in the can, and people still drink it. You drinking bull sperm. That's what you drinking. But what did they do? They made people lazy. They got, excuse me, I don't know why I have the hiccups. They got people not wanting to do the research. But it's all good. That's why I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you what's what. And that's why you're on this show today. Remember, energy is everything. There's a reason why you're listening to this show right now. I don't know. We don't know each other. But there's a reason why the Most High has aligned you to receive this information. Energy is everything. Waves topple onto waves. Energy follows energy. That algorithm sent me to your page for a reason. You clicked on another show and found this show for a reason. Maybe you're considering cooking some Thanksgiving dinner, and maybe, I don't know what it is. But energy follows energy. It's like smiles are contagious. Yawning is contagious. Energy is energy, right? It is what it is. So, what can I say? What was we talking about? Supply and demand? I think that's what we was talking about. I don't even know. Oh, syrup or something. Oh, we're not talking about syrup. Today's topic is called food. It's food. I know Thanksgiving is coming up. I know a lot of y'all are planning on cooking, and you just got to be conscious on what you're feeding your body. You got to be conscious enough to not celebrate that holiday. I may talk about that in just a minute. But, don't you find it funny how cow milk is for cows? And that's not even funny. But cow milk is for cows, yet we drink cow milk. We drink cow milk. Why is cow milk promoted like that? Why aren't they making pig milk? You know they can make milk from... Do you know that they're making milk from cockroaches right now? They're making milk from cockroaches. Look it up. Oh my goodness. If you need milk, I recommend get you an almond milk, cashew, maybe a macadamia milk, coconut. That's just my thing. That's what I like. You know what I mean? It almost tastes the same. Coconut milk, you know what I mean? Get you it's all type of milks that are made from nuts. You can make it yourself. There's pecan milk, and it's good. It's really good. There's pistachio milk, rice milk, no soy. I don't recommend soy. I do not recommend soy. But I mean, this is the world that we living in. This is what's what. That's what they doing. They're the real drug dealers. They locking people up for selling an ounce of this. Even though they're decriminalizing a lot of these old laws, if you will. But you got to think about why. Why are they decriminalizing a lot of these marijuana laws and slapping fines on this and that? Well, for one, they're trying to create a brave new world. And if you ever read the book, you understand that soma was an ingredient that everybody took in the Brave New World, and it made them feel a certain way. It made them forget about their worries, their sorrows, and stuff like that. So eventually what they want to do is make the nation docile. They want to make the world docile. They want everybody to smoke up, drink up, and they want to give it to you, and then eventually they're going to take away. So what if they every state eventually becomes a recreational city or state? Which that seems to be coming to fruition, right? But what if it's all legal for a while? And then what happens when they take it away? They were like, you know what? You can't get any more marijuana unless you get this chip. Now they created fiends, and now not only do they create fiends, but people are gonna be more likely to get a chip if their, you know what I'm saying, if their mind frame is not up to par, and they've been living a certain way, and they're addicted to a certain. They might just get it. They might. Here's the other scenario. What if they're implementing it all to spike it? Because you don't know that it's fresh. This stuff is grown in the lab. Do you know that most of the marijuana that is grown, most of the marijuana that is grown and that is sold in, I want to say, what's that? Denver. A lot of places in Colorado, 420 state, if you want to call it that, Mile High City or whatever, Mile High State, is grown in Mississippi State University. The marijuana, most of the marijuana is grown in Mississippi State University. And there's other places like that where it's grown in labs. You don't know what you're getting. You never got a test tube and put the marijuana grains in there and shook it up and it turned from blue to light purple to, you know that it's legit. You don't know what you're getting. You smell it and you thinking it's real and you smoking it up. But what did the scripture say? The scripture said, eat the herbs of the field in Genesis, right? But people ain't eating the herbs; they smoking it up. Now, I ain't condoning edibles. I'm not promoting edibles, right? I'm not saying you should eat the herb, eat the marijuana. But you know, you kind of catch my drift. You catch my drift. But I say that to say that they are the real drug dealers. They're the real drug dealers, and they locking people up for stuff like that. When they're putting ingredients in our water, you can go grab a Dasani bottle right now, and you'll see that it has salt, chlorine, and some other stuff. So, and not only that, but a lot of the water that we drink and that we like are in plastic bottles, and that BPA turns into chemicals from the plastic bottle, especially when it's in sunlight. So when you think about that, then what's in juice? We like juice, right? So what's the real water then? Because when you look at juice, you'll see that it says filtered water. Well, what filtered water are you using? So if that's filtered water in our juice, and what's the water that we should drink? Anyways, we'll talk about that scripture. I'll bring up a scripture on that, how we should drink poison and live. It kind of matters, but it matters to know. It matters to know what's going on in this crazy world. That's what matters. What else about water that we could talk about? I don't know. But the thing about food in this world today is that in this world today, it's more acceptable to give food to a stray dog than give food to a poor man on the street. That's the sad part. You can give food to a stray dog, but the police won't let you give food to a poor man. You can't just, you know what I mean? It's just all backwards, man. And then you think about all these restaurants that's throwing away food at the end of the night. All these hotels that got food, throwing away food at the end of the night. It's like, what are they doing with it? And why are they saying they can't give to the poor? They're like, well, if we, I'm sorry, we can't give the food out. It's just, yeah, we can't because, we'll get fined. No, we can end that real quick. We can end that. How do you end that? Get a waiver. You get a waiver. Get them to sign a waiver, and then it's a done deal. It's just an evil world, man. Everything is all backwards, man. Everything is all backwards. We have to come to the truth. Like I always say, what I say. Silence is betrayal. If you know the truth, then don't say the truth, and the blood is on your hands. We have to come to this truth. We got to know this truth. You got to get this truth one way or another. You may not want it today. You may not want it tomorrow. But guess what? Eventually, you're going to have to face the truth. Whether you want to accept it or not. You can step on the ant bed, right? You can step on the ant bed and a lot of ants are going to die. But while them ants are dying, a lot of them are going to fight. They're going to die. They're going to die fighting. You understand? We have to I don't even know how to break it down even anymore on this. I don't even know how to break it down right now. It's like we got to come together. We just got to get this. Because a lot of this food is making feminine men. A lot of the artificial, I mean everything, not just everything, they just playing with everything. From the food to the artificial lights to promoting of cigarettes, everything to tarnish our temple. It's just, to even sex, you could deal with sex. Did you know out in Dubai, there's this term called porta potty girls. They call them porta potty. Because a lot of these girls that you see on the gram, you may see on Snap, but a lot on the gram. And, they're attractive. They're attractive women. And you would think that, man, they really have it like that. They're beautiful and they get to travel the world. They have money. No, it's not really like that. A lot of those girls that have those looks, I'm not trying to be facetious or anything, but I just got to call it how it is. It's real TV. If they not out there hoeing in Vegas or on the low, a lot of them, or I want to say a good portion of them that are on Instagram, you see them promoting all these fancy, elegant dinners at restaurants every night. They got on the best heels, the best dresses, hair done, nails done. They go on trips here and trips there. A good portion of these models that you see are called porta potty girls. And what they do, they go out to Dubai. They go out to the Middle East. Dubai and Abu Dhabi. I got to keep it 100 with you. And they get paid by these rich princes and kings over there. These Arabs over there. And they get bought out. They get bought out for a night, whether it's $50,000, $100,000, a meal or so. And what it is that anything goes. Anything goes for that night. They get bought out and they get paid for it. They have 20 men run through them all in that night. Same room till it's a pool of blood on the floor. They do anything. They eat poop. They drink piss. They eat worms. They'll put a snake. They'll do anything. They will do anything. And a lot of these girls are spiritually broken. I have to talk about this. It's gutter, but I got to keep it real. I don't even like to talk about it, but I got to talk about it. I got to talk about it. They're so spiritually broken. See, there's different levels of the spirituality that can be broken. And see, all right, for instance, right? For instance, you could take a, I'm gonna just use a lady for an example, right? I'm just gonna use the subject of ladies for example, since I'm on the subject. You could take a girl and maybe she's around the way and she messing with all these guys. She is not spiritually heavily broken compared to a girl that goes to a strip club and lap dances. See, a stripper is the next level of emotional trauma, if you will. So you got a girl that kind of just like dates a lot of guys here and there and maybe do, things here and there. That could be like an example of level 1. A stripper can be like an example of number 2, where she has to take off her clothes and basically degrade herself down to a lower level and deal with so many guys on average of a night. She could deal with 20, 30 guys in a night or on a weekend, giving lap dances, being fondled on, and even having sex thereafter. That's another level of trauma. But then you have these porta party girls who get paid so much money and they get humiliated and degraded to such a low point where they are so spiritually broken. And they're spiritually broken, emotionally broken, and mentally broken. Like what happened in that night cannot be fixed overnight. It'll take them years to overcome that. Like that's something you need the Most High to help you with. You know what I mean? And then live in that lifestyle like you got it all. Like, yeah, you know, I'm traveling here and there. I got these cars, I got these clothes. But she know deep down inside what she did was wrong. I don't know why I'm on that right now. But this is Real TV. We talk about different subjects. So if this is your first time, I reiterate, Real TV is all about breaking down the truth. And I keep it real. Keep it real with you. So, and by the way, we got to stop cutting our hair. If you stop cutting your hair. Your hair is your chakra. That's your crown. You're supposed to grow your hair. It's like nowadays, nowadays a lot of people hate themselves that the people, if you will, don't even have to hate on you, because a lot of people hate themselves. They're afraid to be themselves, afraid to grow their hair out, afraid to you kind of you know what I'm saying. But the topic of the show is called food. I know we're a little over an hour. I'm going to go ahead and bring it to a close. But the show is called Food. In essence, our grocery store is like a zoo. It's like a zoo where we're in a assimilated environment, and we basically have to bail. You basically have to bail your food out of jail. Your food is held captive. Your food is held captive in that grocery store, and you have to take your money and bail your food out of jail. How do you bail your food out? And where do you go? You go to the register to place your bond. We are warriors. We have to know who we are. You have to know who you are. You have to know what's going on in this world. You have to know the truth. You have to do more research. You have to come closer to the Most High. The Most High is calling you to be a better person. He's calling you to be more knowledgeable. He's calling you to accept Him in your life, in whatever part it is. He's calling you to be more closer to Him. It's your duty to draw more closer to Him also. Because at the end of this life, what matters is that our hearts are as light as a feather when it comes to the scales and balances, that we may be able to enter in the kingdom of heaven after everything that we've done. I'm not necessarily saying that what we eat is the only thing that matters, but our life itself. We are naturally born warriors. We are made in His image. Therefore, we have to represent. We got to represent. Overall. Just overall. I said I was going to come down to some scriptures and talk about this veganism thing real quick. I'm going to talk about this, and I'll give you these couple of scriptures, and I'll go ahead and shut down for the next show. I might do a show tomorrow. But don't hold me to it. I might do a show tomorrow. Don't hold me to it though. Let me read you this verse from Mark chapter 16 verse 18. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing. It shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. You gotta read that whole book. You can read the whole chapter on your own free time. But it says that we should drink any deadly thing, and it shall not hurt them. So we should drink poison and live. That doesn't mean you go out and you go get you a bottle of bleach and drink it. You don't test the Most High like that. But everything that's what's going on in there, it's good to know what's going on, and it's good to know to try to do better once you know what's going on. You catch my drift? All right, so I want to read you one more scripture, and I want to break down this vegetarian thing real quick. This one's coming from 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3. And again, you could read more of this on your own time. Forbidden to marry and commanding to abstain from meats. When it talks about this verse, when you read up a little bit more, it says in the latter times. Yeah, you hear that in the background? Because this is pretty serious. For in the latter times, people will be forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats, which the Most High had created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. Right? So, a lot of people are being vegans and a lot of people are being vegetarians. But once you know the truth, you'll understand that being a vegetarian and being a vegan is not what you're supposed to do. It's okay to eat meat. If you've been thinking about that, if you're on borders, and now it's certain things that we're not supposed to eat. We're not supposed to eat swine. That means pork. We're not supposed to eat no pork. We're not supposed to eat shrimp. We're not supposed to eat lobster. Those water bugs, we're not supposed to eat certain things. That's in the book of Leviticus. I'm not going to go over all of it right now. But there's certain things we're not supposed to eat as far as meat-wise. But it's okay to eat meat. How you going to celebrate Passage? How you going to celebrate Passover if you're not eating meat? You're supposed to eat lamb during Passover. But yet you're a vegetarian. Yet you're a vegan. I don't know why I'm dealing with this. Maybe this is for you. But, or maybe this is a refresher if you already know it. But it says it is to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. So if you don't believe it, then you're going to be a vegan and a vegetarian. And if you don't know the truth, you're going to be a vegan and a vegetarian. So it's two things. That's the recipe right there. You have to believe and know the truth in order to eat meat. In order to understand that eating meat is okay. You may believe it, but you may not know the truth. You may know the truth, but you may not believe it. You're like, yeah, I understand, but then again, there you go. You don't believe it. So you can't have one without the other. The recipe is those two ingredients. The recipe are those two ingredients. You must believe and you must know the truth. I want to touch on Thanksgiving again real quick. I said I might touch on it, so I'm going to go ahead and clear it up. All right, so Thanksgiving is not supposed to be celebrated. Did you know that all these turkeys right now that you see in your store, that you see around your neighborhood, they're so big, right? You always have these dang on high school backpack heavy turkeys, like 20 pounds up to even 70 pounds for some of them. They're so big. The turkeys are so big that they can't have sex on their own because of the breasts, because of their bodies. The males cannot have sex with the girl turkeys because they're too big. So you know what they're doing? They have to breed these turkeys on their own. So what these farmers are doing, you won't even believe this. Let me just. You're not even going to believe this. What these farmers are doing. They're breeding these turkeys. They have to go into the butthole of the man turkey with the tube. They're going into the butthole of the male turkey with the tube, and they're sucking out the sperm through the tube to put the sperm in the girl turkey so they can make more turkeys for your Thanksgiving. Know that. Real TV.